live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey,
hey. Mr. Rob Whalen.
Okay, so this story.
Yeah.
This story. I don't know how many of y'all, if you listen, you know that one of our huge kind of platforms, I'll say, that we do feel to the real for is because of mental health.
Yes.
And bringing awareness to mental health.
Right.
And so when I saw this, I said we had to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So Rob Whalen.
Yes.
Baseball player. 26 years old.
Was he with the Seattle Mariners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Played with the Mariners. 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Just abruptly retired after spring training. What? You're 26. What?
Right.
What's that about? Why would you?
In the prime of your career.
Just walk away. Like, I mean, you know, he's been back and forth between AAA and back in the big leagues and all that. But nonetheless, you've had a career.
Right.
So the reason he walked away is to address his mental health.
Wow.
He said he felt like he wasn't really getting what he needed. The support he needed. And even went so far as to say he felt like when he was honest about because I think he said he was dealing with anxiousness and depression, which is seeming to become a common, hand-in-hand thing. Yeah. And so he was, good for him, transparent with the team about what he was dealing with.
Right. Because
sometimes, you know, I know from people that I personally know, when you're in that space, you're unmotivated to do. It's hard to even get up out of the bed sometimes. Yes. And so he would go and tell them he was going through this, and he wouldn't feel like pitching.
Right.
Or playing. I don't think he was a pitcher, but
I think so.
I think he was a pitcher. But he said that was the thing that kind of really made me like, whoa, because he said he felt like the team used that against him. Wow.
You know, you would think, even in this climate, that folks would be more hip or more understanding about mental health but unfortunately, like, you're seeing instances where it's kind of still taboo. Like, you'll hear a story about how Adam Silver, you know, and thank God for Adam Silver.
Yes, thank you, Adam Silver.
You'll hear a story about him and what he did with the NBA by, you know, had every team having like some type of mental health counselor or, you know, some type of mental health professional. And you think like, okay, like the tide is changing, but then you'll hear a story like this and it's like, we still doing this? We still
shunning people and shaming
people. Like and you still see it, like, even in conversations about mental health, and I'm thinking about conversations I had with my friends, some of my former teammates, where you'll hear about somebody dealing with mental health, and some of the responses will be, oh, he ain't dealing with no mental health. Yeah. And it's like, I do understand, I get it, that some people are going to use it, you know, in order to...
Well, that's everything.
Yeah.
So...
But we still have to have a critical eye and not be so, like,
that's not
dismissive.
The first thought.
That
can't be the first... Like, you cannot make that the first thought you have.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, they not really...
They're not really, yeah.
That can't... It's like saying our judicial system says that you're innocent until proven guilty, but now you guilty until you can prove yourself innocent.
Right.
And so it's the same exact issue to me. Like, you can't do that to people, and so it speaks volumes to me about Major League Baseball and where they need to get to when it comes to this, and being in a place in the space to address this, because it is real and crazy. I can't even remember what I read where they said how many So they were talking about how, thousands of baseball players go through AAA, AA, all the different minor leagues. Every year, like they cycle in and out, and how many of them, and how many Major League Baseball players, have actually experienced mental health issues. But nobody within the organizations, nobody within Major League Baseball as a whole, is addressing it.
And they spend most of their time like there at the facilities.
You got to think how long a baseball season is.
162 games.
I mean, even in comparison to basketball, it's ridiculous. The amount of time that they are playing baseball. And like you said, spending time at the facilities or on the road or all of that stuff. So I just feel like it's time. This is a good time for. I'm glad he did it, and I'm glad he was willing to share his story because, again, expose it for what it is. Don't be afraid. Somebody's got to be the trailblazer. Somebody's got to be the one to say, no, this isn't right, but this is what's going on. And just be willing to take the brunt of whatever comes to bring the awareness so that something can be done. So I hope that his situation, his story, I know it's one of a bazillion probably when you really get down to it, is a catalyst to see Major League Baseball doing something to help these young men. And I can't even imagine the ones who come from other places. How you don't know their culture. You don't know what people of mental health, what those cultures might think of, or how they might view, getting help for yourself. And so I imagine it's tough, but it's necessary.
I'm sure,
It's necessary.
It's definitely necessary.
It's necessary.
So shout out to Adam Silver for
recognizing
carrying the flag for this thing because and we always talk about how much we like Adam Silver. Like he's just such a progressive owner.
He is.
I understand. Like I don't know if you heard the reports of. Maybe we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but the NFL was trying to poach him from. So we see why.
We see why, but I don't know if that's the place for him.
Nah.
He'll get.
Because it's one of those things that they would probably want him to bend to their will.
Yeah, puppet.
Those owners,
and
that's what they got Roger Goodell. Oops, did I say that?
I'm your puppet.
We gon' live. We gon' live. Hey, we gon' live. We gon' live. We gon' we gon' live. From the 50-yard line, we gon' live. From the 50-yard line, we